So first we're going to take a look at creating an HTTP exchange for the user and the post service. And let me take a look at the HTTP of the user that we are using in case of post. So the first thing we have to do is create this interface that will provide access to the user's information. And then similarly, we have to create a HTTP for the post. So let me just take this, copy, create a package, and put it into this package. Put the class into this package. Okay, so this will give me users information. Also, I need to enable this. This will allow me to make a HTTP call to the user service. Let me start the user service. And similarly, we have to make a class for the post service. So this will be post and let me just check the URI. Yep, and this is by ID and this is by load. Okay, post HTTP service get post by ID and get random post. Okay, so we also need the post based on the user ID. So for this, get post by ID, get post by user. Is there, we need to create a API to get the post by user ID. Okay, and in this case, the first we need to add a repository. Do we have get by user? We don't have a user ID, right? And in the model, we have a user. Okay, go to repository, this, select p entity name, where, wait a minute, let me check the query, where p dot user underscore id is equal to user underscore id. Equal to user id. Okay, and this will be get post get post by user id. This will be UUID user ID, and select P from the entity name, where P dot user ID is equal to user ID. And I hope this works. Go to DAO and public post, get post by user ID. user ID, and this will return me repository dot get post by user ID, and this will be user ID. And wait a minute, it needs to be optional, because if the post does not the user does not exist, or the user has never posted. Okay, and this has to be optional. Okay, hmm. We go to the user, sorry, the post service, and we go public. Post stereo, or get post by user ID. User ID, and this will be a return post dot get user by ID, um, post post equal to get user by ID, get post by user ID, and this will be optional. And if optional post dot is empty, then log dot info, no posts exist for the user ID, and this will be the user ID, return post DDO dot builder dot message. Okay, and this will be dot build. But if the post exists, we just get it post equal to optional post dot get, and return post, or return post mapper dot to post DDO, and this will be post. Okay, and this is done. So let me try to debug this. But first we need to check which user has a post. Okay, and which post has a user ID associated to it. So we take a look at this. So this will return me n number of posts because this user has multiple posts, right? And we need a single post. So we need to update our query. So what we are expecting from the API that we are building for the common service is that the user that we have selected should have a post, and it should return the post that is being. So we can add a and that if the user ID and also as the post ID are the same, then return that post. So if we go to our code post service, okay, we take a look at user first, and there has to be get a random user, and it should return a user ID. And let me think on this.